Modern neuroscientists can watch your neurons fire in real time. Using billion-dollar fMRI machines, they track electrical signals cascading through your brain circuitry, mapping exactly which regions activate when you process fear, love, or pain. Yet, despite decades of mapping this hardware, researchers hit a wall. They explain how the brain processes data in the dark, but cannot explain why seeing the color red feels like something. Philosopher David Chalmers termed this the hard problem of consciousness. The mechanics are visible, but the inner experience remains completely unexplained by physical science. The Abhidhamma serves as a technical manual for this internal experience. Written 2,500 years before the first brain scanner, it documents ultimate reality through a rigorous analysis of the mind's constituents and the exact path of its transitions. It identifies 89 distinct types of consciousness and 52 specific mental factors. This system maps the internal states and velocity of the mind through direct observation, categorizing the mechanics of awareness without the need for modern technology. Materialist views argue that you are software running on biological hardware, that consciousness is simply a byproduct of neurons. The Abhidhamma defines mental and physical reality as fundamentally different categories. It argues that consciousness and the brain arise together, mutually conditioning each other through a process called dependent origination. When consciousness is viewed as a category distinct from physical matter, our reactions are no longer simple biological reflexes. This framework suggests the mind operates on its own laws and can be altered through deliberate mental training rather than relying solely on chemical intervention. Let's slow down the fraction of a second it takes for you to see a sudden flash of light. This diagram shows the timeline of a single cognitive moment. Modern neuroscience measures this sensory processing window at roughly 10 milliseconds. The Abhidhamma breaks this exact same window into 17 distinct sequential mental events. The first 3 stages illustrate the bhavanga. This is a silent, baseline consciousness flowing continuously like an underground river before any outside signal arrives. In 2011, a paper in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences identified the default mode network. Science proved that even when you are completely at rest, a baseline stream of self-referential thought remains active. Both systems mapped the same resting state 2 millennia apart. When a sensory object arrives, the mind wakes up. In stages 4 through 8, it turns toward the sense door, receives the raw visual data, and determines what the object is, classifying it as a face, a threat, or food. This sequence mirrors modern neurobiology accurately. The sensory detection, signal relay to the thalamus, and initial processing in the visual cortex align precisely with the ancient stages of adverting, receiving, and determining. Up to this microsecond, both frameworks describe an automatic relay of data. The stimulus arrives, and the hardware processes it. But here is where the Abhidhamma ventures where modern brain scanners cannot follow, mapping exactly how you respond. Look at stages 9 through 15. The ancient text calls these javana, the active decision phase. Flashing by instantly, specific mental qualities called cetasitas arise here. The mind responds by grasping with lobha, craving, or pushing away with dosa, aversion. We know these reactions today by their neurochemical signatures. Reward-seeking behavior is driven by dopamine, while the fight or flight threat response floods your system with cortisol. Science is highly effective at tracking these chemicals, but it treats them as value-neutral biological mechanisms. It tells you that dopamine creates craving, but it cannot evaluate the moral weight or the psychological damage of that craving. The Abhidhamma identifies these exact 7 javana moments as the birthplace of karma. This is the precise flashpoint where your intention forms. If delusion and craving arise here, they taint the consciousness and guarantee future suffering. Recognizing this sequence gives you a practical advantage. If you know exactly which unwholesome mental factors are present during a spike of anxiety, you know exactly what opposing wholesome factors to deliberately cultivate in their place. You intervene at the point of intention. Despite their vastly different methods, both traditions eventually hit upon the exact same insight regarding human identity. What we call the I is not a solid, permanent thing. The Buddha called this concept anatta, or non-self. describing identity as a rapidly changing, interdependent, moment-to-moment arising of mental events. Modern researchers call this same phenomenon the constructed or narrative self, but their ultimate destinations diverge. Neuroscience is a third-person observation of the brain. It lacks an ethical framework. Knowing how cortisol causes stress does not tell you whether that stress leads to personal growth or destruction. The Abhidhamma is a first-person science organized entirely around one axis: what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. Every cognitive moment is classified by whether it creates more pain or moves you toward the ultimate goal of nirvana, the permanent uprooting of suffering. Modern research shows that experienced meditators with thousands of hours of practice can intentionally withdraw from ordinary waking states and significantly deactivate their default mode networks, altering their baseline EEG brainwaves. The mind is not a mystery, it is a trainable reality. By identifying the specific mental factors that drive your reactions in real time, you gain the ability to systematically replace those that cause pain with those that lead to composure.